I'm Dr. K Rajesh, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Amit University. Today we are going to see a very interesting and most important topic in physics that we are going to deal with. In front of you, we have seen a slide. Solar is the source of our earth energy. It produces two different kind of energy which is most important for the earth point of view. The first and foremost is light. As you all know, the source of light for earth is sun, and also it produces some amount of heat that is also required for the earth surfaces. So today's topic is heat. As I mentioned clearly in the introduction about the heat, solar is the basic source of our energy for the earth. So heat is nothing but the form of energy. So what would be the unit for heat? Many of you know it. If you know, please raise your hand. Yes. What is that? Joule. Because it is energy. So what is the unit for energy? Is joule. So heat is a form of energy. So unit of heat is nothing but joule. Okay. In the next slide, you have seen three different images. One is a flame. Another side you have seen in the right side is a AC vent. It is open and it is works. It supplied the cool air to the room. On the side we have a flame that will produce heat. Okay. So in middle I have fixed a thermometer. So what is the unit? What is the use of thermometer? To find the temperature in a particular room. Okay, that is what we call this temperature. So what is temperature? How you define temperature? Degree of hotness or coldness will be measured using thermometer. So the thing which we have measured is temperature. What is the unit for temperature? As we mentioned earlier, that unit for heat is, what is that? Joule. Most of our students, many times I have seen in my classes, if I ask what is the unit for temperature, many of them have told that joule is the unit for temperature. But it is not so. So what would be the unit for temperature? Three different kind of units will be used to describe the unit for temperature. One is degree Celsius, centigrade, and other one is Kelvin. If suppose in examination or in an interview, someone was asked you what is the SI unit for temperature, what would be the answer? Please tell me. There are three units. Yes, very good. Kelvin. Kelvin is the actual unit, SI unit of temperature. Thermometer, what we have used in two different times, one is a clinical thermometer, the other one is technical thermometer. So two different thermometers will measure the temperature but in a two different unit. Normally the clinical thermometer used Fahrenheit, and in technical industrial thermometer they are used degree Celsius as a unit. Okay. So make sure that there is a difference between the unit of temperature and unit of heat. And certain things we have to remember or we have to discuss when we discuss about the heat. The first one is very few laws. These are most important to identify and understand the complete concept of heat. The first one is Boyle's law. Boyle's law states at a constant temperature. That is what I have mentioned in your slide. We have two cylinders, okay, which is filled with the two pistons. On the top, measurement of pressure. Constant temperature, pressure is always inversely proportional to the volume. For example, we have taken the cooker. If it is closed, so I want to maintain the temperature. So what I can do it? I can increase the volume so that I can reduce the pressure. Pressure and volumes are inversely proportional to each other until the temperature is kept constant. That is what I have mentioned that P is inversely proportional to 1 by V at constant temperature. The second law is Charles' law. And this time, see, three thermodynamical constants are very important to identify and understand the complete concept of thermodynamics. The first one is pressure, temperature, and volume. These three are interrelated. You can change any one with the constant, any two with the constant of other. Okay, the Boyle's law state temperature is constant. The Charles' law state the pressure is constant. Here, if you want to maintain the pressure constantly, the temperature is directly proportional to the volume. So temperature is directly proportional to the volume. When the pressure is constant, this is known as Charles' law. If the temperature is constant, pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. That is what your Boyle's law. The next one is spontaneous combustion. This is what, for example, the best example for the spontaneous combustion is a railway garage which having this coal, raw coal, they might use water to make the temperature is reduced, or they cover the coal. Why? Because if it's moving in a different places, when the sunlight is directly falls on the coal, what happens? The coal might be get flammable and it will be get burst. So when you want to find out the fire, when you want to create the fire, three things are important. The first one, the fuel. Okay, because fuel, without fuel you couldn't do anything. And the second one is oxygen. And the third one is energy, that is heat energy. If all the three are combined, the case of coal, the coal is the fuel. Oxygen there in the atmosphere. And the direct sunlight is the energy. When these three are met, okay, what happens? The fire will get ignited. Okay, so this is what you call this spontaneous combustion. Without the external triggering, when heat is automatically produced, that is what we call this spontaneous combustion. So how to avoid this spontaneous combustion? Creating heat, how prevention of heat when flammable materials are in the open. What would be the points? The first one, you should cover the agent, that is the fuel. Other one is when you inserted carbon dioxide, then what happens? That will be reduce the amount of oxygen into that. Oxygen, when you remove the oxygen, what happens? Fire will not be created. Then the evacuation of the material. Something is fire is ignited in some place, some part of the room, then what are you going to do? You are going to evacuate the remaining place. And then cladding of high walls. If something is flammable material, you can cover it in cladding with a high wall. Okay, so these are the precautions that you have to take in for avoiding combustion, spontaneous combustion. I hope that the basic laws of heat is understandable. We'll meet in the next class.